to SHM Sunday, not SHM Sunday Song Session. This is Campfire Chat. Wow, we're doing so many programs, can't keep them straight. Campfire Chat, we are so happy to have you here. I was just introducing two of our very special Jewish musicians and composers and song leaders here. Let us welcome back Lucy Greenbaum. Good to see you, Lucy.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be back.
Yes, we are thrilled to have you. And we also have joining us Rabbi Noah Diamondstein. How you doing, Noah?
What's up?
Great to see you.
Doing great. It's awesome to also be back with the Shir Hamalot community because I came to visit y'all for a Shabbos evening last year at some point. I can't remember when, but it was a blast. It's good to be back.
Yeah, what was that? It was about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, cool.
Good
Well,
back, though.
yeah, well, I'm so happy that you guys are joining us. And the beauty of what tonight is going to bring is we're not only going to sing for you, it's going to be kind of podcast style. We're going to talk all about camp and our experiences and influence from camp, how Jewish music has been affected by camp, and kind of the trajectory of where we think Jewish music is going today. And these are two wonderful insiders that can really provide some excellent insight to how things are going in the Jewish music world. Music being created at camp is, at least in my opinion, some of the most special music there is for all the reasons that you shared. I know I wrote a lot of my compositions at camp. Probably my most popular song, "Rock and Redeemer," was written by the Pool at Camp Newman for Hagigah in 2003, and they performed all the harmonies, and we wrote the harmonies together, and it was righteous, man. It was so fun, and I think a lot about those really great musical moments, Lucy, that you were just saying, and I'm wondering if you both can share one of those really incredible musical memories, musical moments that happen that just can only happen at camp, and then share the song that came out of it. So Noah, why don't you go first, actually?
Yeah, Noah, go.
Sure. So I have a lot of these, and there are a lot of songs I could share. But I'm going to talk about a really special thing that I don't know if it's still happening at Harlem. As far as I'm aware, it might be. And if not, they should start it up again. It was a really special thing, and it was only for a few people. So Friday night was the biggest song leading night of the week. Every week, it was this like marathon, 20-song long song session. I always skipped Shabbat dinner because I don't like to like be full of food while I'm like bouncing around on a stage in the middle of 1,000 people. And when every week, it was always the highlight of my week to lead that song session. But then when it was over, all the song leaders went out to this pagoda right outside. I don't know if they have pagodas on the West Coast, right outside of the dining hall, and it's like an open air. It's like a gazebo, and we would sit around and we'd spend 15 minutes debriefing what had just happened in there, what went well, what was rough that we have to work on for next time. But then after all that, the guitars get put down except for one guitar that we would pass around the group. And we had this like little like playlist of songs, maybe 10 songs, and we pick 5 of them, just at random every week. And just the song leaders would sit in a little circle and harmonize with each other in the most beautiful ways. So I'm going to choose one song of a whole list of songs that I could from that. and the brevity of special moments and like holding on to what matters for as long as you can. And we sang songs like that. We sang songs like Angel from Montgomery by John Prine, You Got a Friend by James Taylor. I mean, all these songs that just like sort of encapsulated the feeling of we only have this for so long, and it's so special.
You know,
it was every week.
Noah, thank you for sharing that with us. You know, it's important to remember also, as I'm sure the three of us are very well aware, you know, camp isn't happening this summer.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of heartbroken people out there. On our feed right now, there's a whole discussion about it. And, you know, many of our kids go to Camp Newman and to Camp Hess Kramer and Hilltop, and you know it's heartbreaking for a lot of these kids. But I think it's important that we offer hope through this program that camp will be back,
Yes,
and it will be back strong, just like everything else that we're doing. It will be back, and so we take these moments and they transcend into holy moments.
Yeah, I mean, even just singing that song brings me back to camp. I'm sure there are songs like that for you, Lucy, too. Like,
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just off of what Rabbi Ziv was saying, I know it's so devastating for so many kids and adults who love camp that it's not happening this summer. And if I learned anything from Camp Newman burning down a couple years ago, it's that camp is and always has been so much more than the place. Yeah. It's about the people and the feeling and the memories that cannot be taken away. The question that was asked of me reminded me, and Noah's story also reminded me that every Friday, the song leaders, and that was all encompassing. That was people who were there being paid to be song leaders. That was faculty members. That was third graders who just learned how to play a G chord on the plastic string guitar.
Nice.
I think I know that camper.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody was welcome Fridays at 3:00 in the Beit Kahila, which we affectionately called the BK. And every summer that I was there, the air conditioning system in that room leaked like crazy. So the floor was always moldy and it was disgusting and it was never cool in there. But it was my favorite room on camp because we made the most beautiful music in there. So we would run through Shabbat Shirah. Sometimes we would run through Shabbat services. But my favorite song that we would sing in that room, and we didn't do it every week, so it was very special when it came up, was the actual remix of Salam. The minor. Because, you know, everybody's like, Odiavo Shalom Aleinu, Odiavo Shalom Aleinu, Odiavo Shalom Aleinu, this is the remix. Yeah. I'm like, no. That is the original. This is the remix.
Yeah. Nanny Dickles.
Yeah, Nanny Dickles. Has so many parts, which made it really fun to sing as a group. So if you know a part, I hope that you'll sing it as a round with me. Wanna know what peace means? One of my favorites.
Beautiful.
Never gets
I was
old.
playing along with you that whole time. Oh, so
I'm
good.
glad.
Is it weird that I've never heard of that? Maybe I'm just old. I've never heard that.
Oh, Rabbi.
I know. See what happens when you're out of
Well,
the camp
welcome.
world and like in rabbinical school for 5 years and have
I'm
a
going to
kid?
send you an MP3, my friend.
Good. I cannot wait. That is stunning and so cool.
Man.
I think we have a
Dan-
new song at SHN.
Dan loved that. Dan loved that remix so much that he put it on an album with 18. And boy, oh boy, does it sound delicioso.
Oh, I bet it does.
Oh, man.
Wow. That's cool. So speaking of Dan, I'm going to tell a little story about Dan.
Please
And
do.
I mean, there are many, but this stems all the way back to 2000. And so Debbie Friedman's music was the big thing. Craig Taubman's music was the big thing back around that time. Jeff Klepper's music was the big thing. I mean, it really depended on where we were geographically in the country. Some were bigger than others. I know on the East Coast, Jeff Klepper's stuff was certainly more prominent than on the West Coast. On the West Coast, Julie Silver's stuff was really big. In the Midwest, it was kind of a mishmash of the two. And when I became close with the song leaders that first summer, I remember sitting in the song leading office with Jeff and Josh and Brett Tanser and some of the song leaders whose names were written on the wall that I was very proud to sign our initials onto that wall. And we were sitting there and talking, and the director of the camp at the time, Ruben Arquilovich, and the assistant director, Deb Sagan, walked in and they said, "Hey, have you guys heard of someone named Dan Nichols?" And I said, "Dan Nichols? No. And everybody was like, "No, not really." Well, he's apparently this really great song leader out of Goldman Union Camp Institute in Zionsville, Indiana. And their director, Ron Klotz, was getting on the phone with us and getting on the phone with everybody saying, we have this guy. He's really, really special. We'll pay for him to come out. Just let him come and share Shabbat with you. And, we kind of rolled our eyes a little bit, but we're like, all right, we were very welcoming, inclusive community at Camp Newman at the time. And so we invited him in. And I will never forget this. As long as I live in this tall, lanky guy, goofy as can be, stands up in the Beit Tefillah, our main house of worship there, with the redwood trees hanging over, and Danny gets up there and plays a song that none of us know. We had no clue of what it was. And everybody's jaws dropped. We were so captivated by this Dan Nichols and his soul, because all he did was just stand there, and it was him and a guitar and a microphone, and his head was down, and he just put his head up and started playing. And one of our favorite songs at camp was House on Pooh Corner. We're like, wow, this song sounds just like House on Pooh Corner. And everyone fell in love with it. And it's his Vishamru, which is on his Kol HaShabbat album, and I love it more than anything. And if you're a fan of the traditional Vishamru, that one's good, but take a listen to this one, because it's
good.
amazing. I'll never forget it, and they do it every single Friday night now at camp as a part of what we call the HHV trilogy. At least we did. We coined that term.
We
in
still
our
call
year.
it the HHV.
HHV trilogy, and it was really beautiful.
It's good.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam brit olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. And the really beautiful thing about that song, not only is how beautiful it is, but if you notice, he has little hidden gems within the song. So, Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash. Uvayom hashvi'i, on the seventh day of creation, what did God do? God took a breath and rested. So he was like, Uvayom hashvi'i. And he had a rest built into the song. And that was when us as song leaders were like, all right, Dan Nichols, you're done, man. You're the best.
That guy knows what's up. For
He
those,
knows what's
yeah.
up. Camp camp really is so special. And the music is, at least I know to the three of us, but to so many others, what really makes that foundational piece stick at camp. And I'm very grateful to the both of you that you've been able to come on and talk with us and share some of those experiences. And I mean, we could be here all night. I mean, there's no doubt
Easy.
about that. I mean, it's also 10:30 in St. Louis, Lucy, so we are mindful of that. But I'm so grateful for the two of you. You know, at Shir Hamalot, everybody, we are trying our very best to bring you and introduce to you as much contemporary Jewish music as possible, to really show you the wide variety and the lens of Jewish music. And in this first year, we've introduced a lot that I've been here. The first year that I've been here, we've introduced quite a bit of new material, and you've embraced it with open arms. And it was, you know, just like I taught today in 2 minutes of Torah, the words of Rav Kook, taking the old, making it new, and making the new holy. And that's really what we're trying to do. And yes, there are the legends, the Debbie Friedmans, the Craig Taubmans, and there are the really popular Josh Nelsons of the world. But these two are very, very special. And we are grateful to have them as song leaders and as our teachers and composers, because you guys, my friends, are doing some great things in the Jewish world and are changing this world for the better.
Hey, thanks, Rabbi.
Thanks.
So thank you. I really appreciate. We're going to conclude tonight with what we call siyum. Siyum comes from the Hebrew verb lisayem, and it means to conclude. And every single night, at least at Camp Newman and Camp Swig, we would end with a siyum, where everybody, each unit, would stand in a huge circle with their arms around each other and sing our evening blessings together. The Shema, Hashkivenu, and Shelter Us. And Hashkivenu and Shelter Us never changed. Shema hopped around a few times, from Debbie Friedman's to another one that was written, you know, the Shema Yisrael, right? And now, for many years, it's been one written by Cantor Marsha Addy, and it's absolutely stunning. So if you're with someone you love tonight, put your arms around them, just like we would at camp. If you're not with someone you like, just put your arms out, and we're going to give you the biggest virtual hold and hug we possibly can. And we're going to do Sium all together tonight as an SHM community. How about that, friends?
Would love.
Let's do it.
And just before we jump in, I will say, and I think I shared this last time I was with Shir Hamalo, was that at Camp Newman it's a tradition for our high schoolers to make tali tote. And the one that I made is this scenic view of my favorite part of camp. And along the mountaintops, I put the words of Shelter Us. So that's just how important this song is to my camp experience, and I think a lot of our camp experiences. So, and with that. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom V'ha'amideinu Shomreinu L'chaim Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha.
Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Let us sing together. Amen. 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 Just our voices now. Amen. Amen.